friends, welcome to Tag Tuesday. I've got the Disney Villains Delightfully Evil coffee table book, and I'm using this as inspiration today. Just like I did the Disney Parks poster art last Tag Tuesday, this time I'm using this book because it's got a lot of art development, character development, art direction, or concept sketches and stuff. I'm going to use Captain Hook as inspiration. I love Captain Hook. I love Peter Pan. It's got one of my favorite movies, my favorite scenes from any Disney movie, Mermaid Lagoon. That's my fave. I'm using Cruella because I think she's fabulous. I love that little stained glass door image. That's what I'm going to use as inspiration for that one. I love the sketchy style of Gaston, and I don't usually do men in my tags or in my drawings, so I thought that would be fun. Lady Tremaine, I'm obsessed with Cate Blanchett in the live-action Cinderella as Lady Tremaine, so I'm going to do that. And then Darla, because she's very underrated as a Disney villain. This is like a 3-year-old fish killer, so she's a murderer, guys. So I'm going to use her as a villain's inspiration. I got this computer graphics, I guess acetate? I think it's acetate, or it's, you know, like a clear something. I was watching Ali Brown do clear tip-ins, and I was like, I need to get on some of that because that would be fun. I used, what is it called? Like contact paper, you know, that clear, sticky contact paper for when I do orders, my Etsy orders, and I put the labels on the front. I print them out on paper, and then I stick them down with that plastic sticky stuff. What is it called? I'm just going to say it's contact paper. But yeah, I stick them down on that. And I actually made like a page in my art journal once where I like drew a mermaid tail on top, and it was kind of like a flip over thing, and you could see through it and paint on it, which was kind of interesting. So I thought it would totally work well with this. But that had a lot of resist on it, that contact paper. And this one, because I think it's for inkjet printers, I think it's like made specifically to kind of take ink. So it worked really well with my Sharpie pens. Obviously anything kind of works well with your paint markers, but I feel like this one works well with our products. So that's what I'm going to use to make the window, and I'm going to do the stained glass on top. I just wanted to make Cruella's shadow a little menacing, a little dark, like she's standing out in the storm. I could have done a better job, I'll be honest. At the end of this tag, you'll see at the end of this whole video, you'll see all the close-ups and the detail shots. The proportions of her shadow in the window, she kind of looks a little large in the window for me. I think I could have made her a little smaller and it would have read better, especially because her head didn't end up being in the round circle part. So, you know, the inspiration was there, but the execution wasn't, you know, wasn't exactly what I was hoping for, but nevertheless, I still like it. As with anything, and especially Tag Tuesday, I'm more just playing. Some of the ideas that I get here that I'll try, I'll keep in my mind for when I'm doing work for clients, or when I'm, you know, making specific things for specific people, and, you know, I know that they want something interesting, and I thought, oh, I've tried that before, and, you know, that kind of worked, or that'd work here. Because people out there are super creative and come up with really fun ideas for me to try. So yeah, I like to practice a lot of things in Tag Tuesday. I think I've said that before, so I'm just repeating myself at this point. Using my letter stencil to make the circle because I don't have... well, I mean, I do have a circle stencil. I totally have an oval stencil. Why didn't I get that out? I got my ruler out. That's unusual for me. I don't usually get the ruler out. I actually ditched the ruler after this because I could not be bothered. It was way too precise. But if I was going to make something that's a commission, or I was going to, you know, work for a client, or I was going to make something to sell, obviously I'd take all the, you know, the necessary measures to make sure that it was done properly and to a really high quality and standard. But, you know, for Tag Tuesday, I'm just playing. These tags don't really end up anywhere except for one of my art journals, and everything else in there I didn't use a ruler for, so why today? I try. Look. I'm giving it a go, and then I give up. So yeah, I'll show you the close-ups of these at the end, so don't worry, but I'm just, for the sake of this video not being 50 hours long, I have to kind of move through it pretty quickly. Gaston, I love the sketchy style, and I thought I'm going to get some of this acetate again. I'm just going to sketch right over the top. I don't see much of a problem with doing this. I know a lot of people would be like, oh, you didn't actually draw it, that's not as impressive. That's totally fine, I don't need to be impressive in that way. You know, if I wanted to sit down and draw it, it would just take longer. I'm sure I could get the effect, but for this purpose, I wasn't actually going for the sketch as the focal point. it was what was underneath it that I wanted to play around with and see this style, because I was watching a Disney documentary about 101 Dalmatians, or it might have been an animation documentary, and I was watching about the art direction of 101 Dalmatians and how a lot of the it's very sketchy, the backgrounds, but actually in the backgrounds, a lot of the coloring of the backgrounds is very loose and very suggestive, kind of like color blocking. It wasn't actually like they'd color in the building properly, they just make a square of color. And I thought that was a really interesting take on how to color something in. So I thought I'd use this Tim Holtz paper pad that I have. I've got two. I've got like the travel one and the dapper one. Steve loves them. He gets really upset when I use them. He thinks that they're just supposed to be looked at and not used. So I'm probably going to have to go back to Michael's and buy some more just so Steve can use them as his own coffee table books. But yeah, this paper pad, this paper that I'm putting down now has got like vintage exercise, I guess, instructions on it, like how to use vintage exercise machines. And his shirt is like postal stamps and stuff, postal package stickers that says like fragile and handle with care, which I thought was a super cute juxtaposition, because at the end of the day, Gaston's such a wuss and he just wants a girlfriend. So he's got all those strong muscle man poses, but he actually just reads pretty fragile to me. So yeah, I just wanted to do this suggestive kind of color blocking with the paper pad in the background, and I love how this turned out. I want to try that again with something else. Here is Darla from Finding Nemo, and I love Finding Nemo. I don't know why. I love the story. I think I love that it has to do something to do with Australia too, and it's always such a trip when, Australia hits some like big Hollywood movie. I just get really proud, really patriotic. So I got the photocopy from the book, straight up, just photocopied the book, and then I traced over it with the Sharpie marker just to get the general outline, and I'm going to do some paper stacking, some like 3D paper art, which is something I love to do. And if you go through my Instagram, like days of old, a couple years ago, or maybe like a year and a half ago, I did a lot of paper crafting, a lot of headpieces made out of paper, a lot of paper flowers, paper crowns, paper everything, pop-ups. I love a good bit of paper crafting, so that's something I've been missing a little lately, so I thought I'd bring it to Tag Tuesday, and a lot of these are just paper craft projects today. So obviously still a lot of scrapbooky feel and art journal-y kind of element, because I'm just mixing it all at this point. But yeah, some paper stacking. And I'm just using foam dots. I went over to the Lightbox, traced the what are they called? The shapes that I had made on the photocopy. I traced them with the papers that I chose for the project, and then I'm just going to stack them up with these foam dots. These are American Crafts. I think that sticky thumb tape runner that I'm obsessed with, that's American Crafts. The paper, the dots, they're American Crafts. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. The glossy accents is Ranger. I love glossy accents. Yeah, I think I've just been missing some paper crafting, so I wanted to bring that out today. And if you don't have foam dots and you want to try this, you can just cut up like an old Amazon box or something and glue little cardboard chips. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cut up little cardboard chips, like little squares, and just glue them on the back, and that'll pop your paper up dimensional and everything. So I'm doing her braces here. I just drew that mouth on, and I found I have some like jewelry making supplies, but I'm not super into jewelry making right now. I think I bought them all when I was doing clay, and I wanted to see if I could make some clay jewelry, which was an interesting venture for me. Nevertheless, I've still got the supplies from it, and yeah, so I found this little, what's it called? It's like jewelry wire, but it's not wire per se. It's kind of like a string / wire, and it's black. So I just folded it in half and used some glossy accents and glued it, to the top of her braces, and then just tucked the back behind her head. So that was a fun little detail that kind of made her braces look a little more realistic. I could go full ham with this and just like add everything, you know what I mean? Like I could add little ribbons to her hair, I could add something in her pocket on her overalls, but for this one I wanted to keep it pretty simple because there was a lot going on. I had so many tags to make today that were quite involved. Side note, these are my favorite tags ever, and I think Darla is actually one of my favorite tags from Tag Tuesday. So here I got the edge of a Ziploc bag. I just cut that off and made a little dead fish. Sorry if that freaks you out, guys. I don't endorse fish murder, but for this project I had to do it. I made a little fish with crossed eyes, got some fishing line and tied up the grab bag. I just put a little glossy accents in there and I tried to heat it up a little bit to kind of make it clear and dry it, but then obviously I got over that because it wasn't quick enough. So I made her little dead fish in a bag, and I just love that little accent. I love that little feature. I love this whole tag. I don't know what I could say. I'm very proud of this one. And I got to this point and I thought, oh no, it's quite plain in the background. Why didn't I think about the background beforehand? So my sister actually bought me this vintage looking stamp set with all the letters and stuff in it. So stamped her name up there. I got my favorite date stamp. It has this, one of the sayings is smashed, because that was the, I think Smash Book was what they were called, the journals. And so I just thought it was funny because she kind of smashed the fish. Date stamped it, and then I just put fish bones around the edge, which was literally an idea that just popped up in my head when I was thinking, what have I done in my journals that I could like border this with? And I remembered I'd done fish bones as a kind of an element, which I think, I want to say I got it from Diane Reevely and Dilutions, but I don't know if I did. I'm just going to give her the credit for it because that's who I was thinking of when it came up. I might have just been using her products, I don't know, but I'm going to give Diane all the credit for that one. So here I've got some more Tim Holtz paper pad. I just love it. I'm obsessed with Tim Holtz paper pads. Pretty much anything Tim Holtz. Is there anything Tim Holtz out there that like I haven't tried that you guys need me to try? Because I want it all. Let me tell you. So here I've got the little treasure map that I made. I just put some vintage photo distress stain on it to kind of, grunge it up a little bit, make it look a little old and vintage. That vintage photo distress stain is literally perfect for anything you want to make look vintage. It does exactly what it says it does. I've never been more impressed with the description on a craft supply. So yeah, I'm totally obsessed with that. And then I made the hook. I'll be honest, the hook didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to. I tried a bunch of things with it. I even wrapped some twine around it. Tried to colorize it with some of this old metallic bronze like finishing glaze I thought might be interesting. Then I didn't end up loving that either, so I went over with some of this distress stain here. I don't know which one this is called. Is it like brushed silver or something? They're such great names. I should write them down so I remember them for my voiceover. Here I'm just doing some more paper stacking. I found some of these crystals laying around because the house has always just got crystals or glitter laying around because I live here. And that's just what happens when you live with me. So I got some feathers. These feathers were from this photo shoot that we did last Christmas, the Santa Lucia photo shoot. If you scroll through my IG, you can see the photos from that. We made little headpieces for it, which I love. Just cutting up some glitter washi tape. Nothing new here, nothing really exciting, just a lot of collage elements, I guess. And this is how I was going to try and save the hook, by wrapping some twine around it. Don't ask me why. I think it becomes less menacing with the twine around it. But, it's good to know. It's good to know that I don't like that effect, and I probably won't try it again. And it was also hard because I'd used paper. Like, I'd used a paper pad for the hook. So I tried to add things that, they're not of the same, how should I say, structure. Like, the paper was quite, soft and malleable, and that twine was kind of hard to bend and keep in place. So I think I did the best I could do at that point. Again, a lot of this stuff is intuitive. I don't plan a lot of this stuff out, so if I find out that it doesn't really work for me, I find that out at the end. Usually when I'm adding a ton more crap to it, that's when I find out that I don't actually like it. But I do like the elements of this card. I like the tag, sorry. I like that, it's a little scrapbooky. It's a little random. Not my favorite tag, but I do love Captain Hook. And I love the jewels on it, obviously. There's a lot of sparkle going on here. Maybe that's why it doesn't seem like Captain Hook. But to me, Captain Hook's always been quite fancy. I don't know. What do you guys think of Captain Hook? He's always come across as someone who enjoyed a good jewel and a wig. But yeah, so I'm super into this. I put the black spot on there because I like that little pirate legend. I just saw Pirates of the Caribbean last night, that new movie. I hadn't actually seen a lot of the other ones. I've seen the one with the mermaids, obviously, because they're models. Oh, she's a model. Look like Linda Evangelista. Yeah, no, I love the models as mermaids. Anyway, let's get on to Lady Tremaine. Here, I was literally using the reference in the book. like copy for copy. I was just cutting out the shapes that I saw in that really nice gouache painting, and just literally trying to copy the exact proportions, the exact style and feel of it, but with paper cutting. Does that make sense? I cut off the little tip of the feathers to make her little neck ruffle because I didn't have any lace doilies or anything laying around. I made her sleeve, like the undersleeve of the big sleeve, out of a strip of washi tape that I just cut up. Just put little accents here and there. Cut up her face from a tag, which is great because this image that I was referencing was very angular, so I didn't have to worry. Like, I don't have any nice little fancy little scissors, so I'm kind of at the mercy of those big orange things. So if things aren't, super difficult and rounded, a lot of little points and stuff on an image, that's easier for me to cut out. She didn't have a bow on, but I wanted to put a bow on her because I just wanted to. I wanted to put bows on Darla, but I thought it would be too much, so I had to add a bow somewhere. I love the live action Cinderella. Do you guys love that? I think I've said this before, but Steve will watch it at least once a month, and will let me know if it's been too long, and he'll just put it on. It's so great, and I love Cate Blanchett in it. I love the costuming in it. It's incredible. I love the art direction. I love everything about it. And honestly, like the first 5 times I saw it, I think I cried every 25 minutes, and I'm not super sentimental like that, so kudos, people that made that movie. You cracked me. So I put some of my handmade journal tape. I wanted to put the little frame that it had in the photo, but I didn't want to draw anything because I didn't want it to be about drawing on this tag. I wanted it to be like crafty, paper cutting kind of elements. The only thing I drew was the face. Even then, I went over that eyelash with a spider leg. I found in my craft box, there it is. I found in my craft box I had these spiders from that like spider crown that I made, and I love lashes. You all know I love lashes, and there's nothing I love better than a good spider lash. They're the ones that I say like hit the top of your eyebrows and like kind of, they're like spiders on your eyes. So I thought it'd be really fun just to add a little spider leg as her lash, and just color a little crystal in and put her earring on. Sometimes if I feel the tag needs it, I'll just run around the border, run around the edge and give it like a nice little border. So here are the close-ups. I'll stop speaking now. I hope you enjoyed Tag Tuesday, and I'll be back for another one soon. Bye everyone.
To walk these roads with you. Can't remember the last time I went without you. Where do I go? Where do I go? How will I know? How will I know? I used to walk these roads with you. Can't remember the last